Good afternoon, back again. Changing the oil in the 2016 Yamaha Kodiak. Show you how they recommend it being done and how I'm going to do it. Okay. The Yamaha book, if you go, this is my model, section 10, tells you what oil to use, how much to use, liters and quarts. I'm going to be doing oil filter change also, so I will be using 2.22 US quarts. It's right here. Tells you what oil to use and what temperature you're operating at, such as down south and Alaska. That's two different temperatures. One's cold, one's not. That's JSO, standard MA engine oil quantity. My oil that I have picked up. This is what it recommends Yamaha Lube. I went with Yamaha Lube because that's what my dealer recommended. My four-wheeler is not a boat. It does not get pushed very hard. I just mainly use it around the farm and hunting. There's the MAJASO. So we're good to go. Now, if you look in your manual in section 8, this manual here, it gives you the steps on how to change the oil. Notice right here, do not use oil with chemical additives because that can affect the clutch. Some of your other oils, I don't know how they affect it. I know some people change oils and have trouble. Maybe this is why, because this oil also lubricates the clutch. Okay. So, the manual says to take this panel off, panel F, seen in section 8, which requires taking this bolt, this nut, and I assume this Allen screw on the foot guard. That is a number 5 Allen wrench. These, all three, are number 10, and this panel will drop down. And you can get in there to the oil filter. It's down in there. I know it is. I saw it. And Yamaha has a wrench for that. To check the oil, this panel comes off. Pull the dipstick out. Now when we refill it, we will be filling back in this dipstick hole. And we need to make sure it is in all the way so that we don't get any contaminants or blow our oil out or lose our dipstick. There's your dipstick. Has a gauge on it. If it's in the crosshatch, you are good. If it's below it, you are not good. You are going to blow it up. Okay. So, said I was going to do something a little different than what the manual calls for. Now, when I crawl underneath here, and I got to noticing some mud up in this plastic here. Mud clots and dirt. And if I stick my hand in here, my oil filter is right there. So, there's 6 bolts to take this plastic off, and I can take my hand and reach in there without a wrench and screw that filter off. And also the oil drain is down in here, so it'll be easier for me to get to that too. See, hear all that mud? So I'm gonna take off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bolts, and I'm gonna drop this down and I'm gonna clean this out while I'm changing my oil. Stay tuned. You can see I dropped that pan off and had a bunch of mud in it, caked up. If you're in eastern North Carolina, you understand Busco Beach mud. The radiator clogged up too. But here's our oil drain flow. Back of the foil is that way, front is that way. And it is a 14 millimeter. And you would turn it, pull it towards me, or if it was on this side, I'd be pushing away from me. So let's get going. I don't know if you need a socket or not. Extension, I just went ahead and put one on. Alright, and broke loose pretty easy. And if oil don't come out of this, I'm gonna be in a mess. Ta-da! It really ain't that dirty, but it hadn't been changed in a while. It's starting to smell a little bit like gas. And when you put it on, back on, it's like, I think 11 foot-pounds or 16 foot-pounds of torque, which is really just like hand snugging. So let's see if we can go ahead. I'm gonna clean my hand up and then we're gonna drop the oil filter.
If you're done with it,
all right, the oil filter.
Yes.
Reach your hand up right here. There's your oil filter. See it? And to me, I think it's a little bit easier. And you will be turning it this way. Okay, I can't get it with my hands, so I'm gonna put my wrench on it. Okay, so that was really tight. I had to put my chain one on it and get it broke loose. And now we are and remember, screw it this way to get it off. And we're letting it drain. Now, come back up here to our oil filter. Yamaha says take a little bit of oil and rub around this rubber ring here, this O-ring, and that will help seal it to prevent it from leaking. Also, make sure when you take the other one off that that rubber ring is up there. Make sure it does not get stuck, because otherwise you'll have two rings up there and it will leak. So you can take your bottle here and just take a little bit out of it, stick it on your finger, and rub it around that ring. Don't get no ideas, fellas. It's not made for that. Let's rub it all around. Make sure you got a good coating on it. Don't worry about the oil, because you're gonna have some left over anyway, so you're not gonna be short on your oil supply. Make sure you do not get dirt in this, because it lubricates everything. Where's my rag? Okay. Y'all see me? Alright, screw it back on. This way. I'm gonna do the best I can. I'm not holding the phone. You can feel your shaft up here where you screwed the other one off. You can see a little bit if you get up under there. Do not cross thread it or you will have a big problem. If it's not going on easy, you have a problem. You're not up there like you should be. Just get it tight as you can with your hand. And you should be okay. Okay, now we're going to take our oil plug. Make sure there's no damage to the threads. And we're going to screw it right back in our hole. If it's not going in easy, you are not in the way you should be. It screws on in. Just like so. And then snug it up. Don't try to get it tight as you, don't try to break it off because this is aluminum and you will strip the threads out. And you don't want to do that because then you have to buy a new case. Clean everything up so if it does leak, you can see it. I'll put that plate back on after this video because it's not important at this moment. Now, we're going to pull this out, get our funnel. My little girl has moved my funnel. I will be right back. Okay. Put your funnel in the hole. Pour your first 2 quarts in. Your third quart, it says 2.22 quarts. And this should be somewhere right in here. And if you don't have quite enough, you can check it. You can add a little bit more and add a little bit more. It's better to have not enough and to add more than to have too much because you can't take it out without draining everything out. So we're going to put our just a little bit in there and then we're going to measure it and see, and put your dipstick back in, make sure it's tight, put your cap back on, make sure you screw it on. If you like the video, let me know. Appreciate you watching.